All right, we got to run numbers on Twitter. We're going to do that in this video. We're going to look at financials. We're also going to talk updates regarding a revision on what happened with Elon Musk this morning. I have a lot more insight, so we're going to talk about that. And of course, we're going to remind you that yesterday is the 14th. That means coupon code PP expires. Right now, we are getting a lot of people wanting to join the trading challenge that started today. It's great. It's going great so far. I'm super excited to share it with y'all. That is what in 2023 will be the $5 million trading challenge, building that account up. And that's in Stocks and Psych. Make sure to check out Zero to Millionaire Real Estate Investing as well as the Elite Hustlers course. Coupon code PP expiring tonight. Thanks. All right. In this video, I want to update some of my thoughts on the Elon Musk jet situation, free speech situation. And I want to update these thoughts based on actually a tweet that I sent this morning, which I thought about this a little bit more. And this was the tweet that I sent after I made my morning video about Elon Musk banning the account that tracks his jet. And there have been some updates since then, some more bans. I wrote, if Elon's private jet can't be tracked on Twitter, then no one's jet should be tracked on Twitter. Oprah, Swift, Bezos, Bill Gates, you name it, right? In other words, if there's one rule, it should apply to everyone. If the rules of Twitter say you're not allowed to leak someone's address or phone number, then don't leak someone's address or phone number. If that then extends to you're also not allowed to leak or tracking information, which even though most of the time that's public information, that's considered doxing if you're tracking somebody and posting updates on that. Well, fine. If that's the rule, then people should be made aware of that rule change and then have an opportunity to not break that rule, right? So then I wrote, the rules should apply equally. I'm tired of, quote, the rules are for thee and not for me. There should be equal application. Now, I say that because in California, you get a lot of that, okay? Like the mayor, London Breed in San Francisco, hey, you all got to wear your masks. And then she's out partying, not wearing a mask. The same thing with Gavin Newsom. He did the same thing going to dinner. It's always with the politicians. It's here are the rules, you follow them, and then the politicians themselves don't. It's hypocritical. That's a little bit what it felt like this morning when Elon Musk banned an individual's account who was tracking the Elon Musk jet when Elon Musk said himself, hey, this is part of free speech. Even though that's not good for my security, we're going to allow that free speech to occur. Clearly, that has since changed. Clearly now, Twitter has decided, no, private jet tracking accounts are going to be banned. And apparently, it's now no longer just Elon Musk's account that has been the tracker for Elon Musk's private jet that has been tracked. But apparently now other private jet trackers are starting to disappear as well. However, because of the leak that occurred where Jack Sweeney posted pictures this morning that came from internal messages within Twitter that his private jet account was being censored through visibility filtering, the same kind of nonsense we saw in the Twitter files. Apparently, and maybe he got banned for a different reason, but apparently Jack Sweeney, that creator who was running the private jet account, now had all 30 of his Twitter accounts banned, including his personal one where he was kind of exposing his own Twitter files, he called it. Now, there's also, an interesting argument about tracking private jets. First, upon looking into this a little bit more, most private jets, you look at the tail number, you throw it into FlightAware, boom, you could track them. You can now apparently request a flight blocking with the FAA, which then restricts other people's ability to actually track your private jet. I believe people have to apply for that. I'm not sure what the exact details of that are, but there was also another opinion from one of the folks over on the All In Pod, and I thought this was actually a fair point. He wrote, this was Jason. My personal belief is that the sustained sharing of public information, location information, is de facto doxing. If one individual followed another around all day and shared their location on a Twitter handle called, let's just say, Susan's Location, that would obviously present a security risk, a dangerous security risk. And I think this is interesting, right? I think the way all of this private jet stuff is being handled, though, is the problem. I agree. I think if I had a private jet and somebody was always like, oh, Kevin's here now. Oh, Kevin's going from Texas to Florida. Oh, what deal's he buying over there for house at? That'd be a little awkward, at least. And then, what if there are some haters? I don't know. There fortunately not too many of them, but there are loud ones, right? And loud ones are maybe a little more unstable. They need a little more love in their lives, So that can create concerns. So I get it. But I think the way to handle situations like this is very simple. So, dear Elon, if you're listening to this, here's a very simple blueprint. If you're going to restrict free speech because of a rules change the rules first, right? Change the rules. Hey, update to the rules, everyone. You do a little notification, red banner, Twitter rules have been updated. Now the following are also considered hate. And then you could throw in, things about clarifications on LGBTQ if you wanted to, or clarifications on race, or clarifications on private jets, right? Well, whatever you deemed necessary, make the rule. Hey, now everybody's got 24 hours to read the new rules, and we're going to start banning people after 24 hours. That would be a reasonable way to do it, because now if the rule is written into stone, rules are never written into stone, but now if the rule is published, I should say, now individuals can look at the rule and go, okay, do we choose to abide or not? If you choose not to abide, you get fired, right? You get suspended. If people have a problem with the rule, they could say something about the rule, right? But the concern this morning was that it appeared Elon Musk first started with, hey, let's just restrict just this one person's account who's tracking my jet and not other people's jets, right? That's not cool. If you're going to ban the tracking of private jets for yourself, it should be a ban for everyone. But then you should also give a heads up with a rules change. Like, put that on the Twitter rules. It's honestly not that hard. Like, if you got, I don't know where, you probably do it all yourself in the back end, open the CSS code or whatever, but I'm just thinking to myself, like, I'm gonna log into Squarespace and make a quick little edit. Take me less than 5 minutes to throw in a new little rule there. Like, not that hard to do. I know y'all know that, but I think that's a better move from a PR perspective, because remember, the goal at Twitter is attracting advertisers. Advertisers want the feeling of stability, not hypocrisy. So provide stability. Look, hey, there's a new boss in town. The rules are going to be changing every Friday at 5 o'clock. Then you've got 24 hours to accept those. Otherwise, we start banning people. Okay, it's strict, but at least it would be clearly communicated then. And again, when there's one rule, it should apply to everyone. It's not, only Elon's jet, right? I think that was really the frustration this morning, was that it seemed like all of this was just being done on behalf of Elon. And it started with that idea with visibility filtering. Now it appears like it's becoming more broad, and maybe it will turn into a rule change. It's just backwards the way that's being done. And it's unfortunately this kind of management style that does create uncertainty for advertisers, which creates pain for Twitter, more pain for Twitter, very expensive loans. What ends up happening? Well, you end up in a situation where Tesla's gonna probably eat it, because Elon's gonna have to sell more. I mean, take it, for example, $13 billion of debt over at Twitter. Let's just assume the average interest rate is 8% on all that debt. That means Twitter has a debt service on an annual basis of $1.04 billion. That's $1,040,000. 1 billion and then another 40 million. That's a lot, right? Divide that by day. That's like over $3 million a day in interest payments. That doesn't even include employee expenses. You have 2,000 employees at left out of the 7,500 or whatever that there were. So you got 2,000 employees at an average, with insurances. So assume somebody's at a $100,000 salary, but then you have fringe benefits, payroll taxes, insurances, liability, blah, 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 blah. 2,000 people times $150,000, that's another 300 mil right there. Double that for servers, infrastructure, offices, other, expenses, ads, mistakes, just BS that happens. Just double your payroll costs for a moment. You're sitting at a $1.6 billion burn. Well, $1.6 billion is a burn when you just lost half of your advertisers, according to NPR, and they lost half of their advertisers. It's gonna be tough. Let's look at Twitter's last earnings report, and let's see how much money they were making. So all we have to do, Twitter, Q2 was the last one. Q2 earnings report 2022. We'll get a quick look at that. Look at that. It's still on the CDN right here. Okay, perfect. So go to the financial income statement right here. There it is. Okay, so for the 3 months ended, they had a revenue of $1.1 billion. That's actually great. That's not bad for the 3 months ended there. Say that's now halved. Okay, now we're sitting at somewhere around, let's make the math easy. We're sitting somewhere around $500 million in quarterly revenue. However, we've now gone into a recession. Remember, that right there represents April, May, June, where people weren't really yet expecting the recession. So take 500 million and let's drop that by 35%. That's going to bring us to 325 in quarterly revenue. 325 times 4 puts you at $1.3 billion in potential annual revenue at Twitter. And we just calculated about 1.6 in expenses. You're losing $300 million a year. Now, $300 million a year, that's not as bad as $1 billion a year, especially if Elon's having to subsidize it. But the fear of, and don't get me wrong, I think Elon can get this company to a break even. But let's be clear here. This is like either creating the buying opportunity of a lifetime for Tesla, because this literally has nothing to do fundamentally with Tesla. The only thing this does is put selling pressure on the actual stock, or the fear of selling pressure on the actual stock. Changes nothing fundamentally. But it does make some people scratch their heads. Hey, why was volume the highest right over here that it has been in over a year? You know, this right here being October of 2021, right? It makes you wonder, is Elon having to pre-sell because the expenses have been so high? Remember what we talked about yesterday? All of a sudden, they're having to sell. I mean, I get it. They laid off a lot of people, but they're selling computers, office chairs, espresso machines, braising pans. They're auctioning this stuff off. So, you know, hey, if you can sell a bunch of stuff and get another 50 mil, now all of a sudden your loss goes from 300 mil to 250 mil, right? Just ideas. I think just bottom line, Elon, like, y'all just try to communicate a little bit better at Twitter. Probably need to be doing that with Tesla too. And we can get on the right track. I don't want people to be confused that my criticisms of Elon are a way to say, oh, I hate Elon. I don't. Like, I love Elon. I think just some of the stuff they're doing, at least looking in from an outsider, is like, oh, not again. It's just like you're sitting here like face palming, like, oh my gosh, why would you do that? You know, like, I get it. I heard it like at least 50% of you say it in the comments, and the other 50% don't. When Elon said prosecute Fauci, 50% of people are like, oh, damn right, prosecute Fauci, and the other 50% are like, oh my God, here we go. Like, that's not what you should be doing when you're trying to attract advertisers, okay? That's all. We're not going to relitigate all of that. And I know then some people are like, oh, but somebody's got to do it. Do it when the company's making money then, okay? Like, do it when things are stable. It's kind of like you're teetering on like a pogo stick right now. Like you're on a pogo stick, and this is you. You're on a pogo stick in an earthquake, and you're like, boy, I hope we don't fall over and go bankrupt. By the way, prosecute Fauci. And then other people start shoving you, and you're like, oh gosh, it's getting harder to hold on. It's like, I say this to my kids sometimes. It's like, why are you making it worse for yourself? Why are you making it harder on yourself? Just stop. Anyway. All right, thanks for watching. Check out the PP coupon code down below. We'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.